Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
Moin. Good day to you lot out there. Hello, Jerry. How are you?
It's not you as well. Every fucker is saying hello. You cunts.
Why shouldn't we say hello?
Oh, I can think of several reasons.
For example?
It sets up the whole tone of the show, like we're going to be friendly, and this will be some sort of delightful interaction. That's not how this works. That's not how this works.
Good day, cunts.
Better.
Hope you all had a lovely, fucking weird, possible evening. And
I've not had a bad one. There's Hazy Boy. What are you doing, Hazy Boy?
Dan Lee, Orinoco Twitch, Demon Sub, Rumley 8, and Hazy Boy Boogoff. Welcome to my
don't
personal
answer the phone,
hell.
Damon. So that one goes.
Oh, look. Tiny fighting man. But very big.
Never answer the phone.
Oh, today I witnessed somebody being cruel to the nth degree. How to make somebody talk to you on the phone. Asking them, when will you be free to call? If no reply, okay, I can send you a voice message.
Can you?
Why?
You can do?
Why would you do that? At least
how did it send you a voice message?
Well, via the means of communications, I think. Somehow WhatsApp or any other messaging service.
Oh, right, I'm with you. Okay.
So what the kids do?
Those Celtic, they're round, but then they fit into a square base to actually play the game because you require a square base to play the game. And yet, for some reason, somebody didn't think making them all square would have been sensible to begin with. You know? Just saying they've added an additional step that they didn't need to take there.
Also, I totally learned today that some inside jokes just don't work outside a certain community.
Right.
Somebody asked, is this print big enough? So he printed a 3D model of a spaceship, the size the palm of your hand, and asked the indirect question on, is this big enough or should I embigulate it? And I said, it's the perfect scale for 1 billion suns.
Excellent.
And then they just stared at me.
Oh, well. What was it? What was it for then? Presumably it wasn't in the 1 billion suns thread, because they're used to that by now and they still can't cope with it.
No, it was a different hobby Discord, and it's just for diorama painting, so...
Oh, right.
Totally missed the mark with the joke, but I felt obliged to do it.
Always. Oh, I mean, fish bite hooks. Why would you not? Why would you not?
So, Dudley, then tell us, where is this going? This train wreck of a show where even I can't...
Don't know yet. I keep leaving lessons on things. People haven't a fucking clue what they are. Yeah, well, I'll not say any more about that. So we've only got two things to look at tonight. We've a dissection of Liverpool's goals against United, which will take about 10 minutes, and then I've got a 19-minute long video, which is every Premier League goal scored by the Egyptian king Mo Salah. So we'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
You can chime in with your favourites as they come past.
1 billion suns. That's basically a supplement to Warhammer, isn't it?
What's that? Sure, why not?
Yeah, because
there's an RPG called Stars Without Number, and the guy who wrote it is about, or has just released his fantasy version called, I think, Cities Without Number, and it's it like procedurally generates the planets or cities that you go to for your role-playing game. So when you're playing a big epic space game, you literally just generate it as they arrive. A friend of mine was running it for us for a while, and he has an old hex map table thing, like a vinyl mat, and every hex has got a 4-digit number on it. And so we would just travel from one to another, and then he'd procedurally generate the planet that we found when we arrived there. I was playing a Jedi called Thorn. Not quite a Jedi, but fucking Jedi.
A force wielder of sorts.
Of that type of thing. A cheddar monk with a mono edge blade that I was very bad at using. Very bad. I was like a shit Jedi. I was essentially Anakin.
Jar Jar Jedi.
Nobody's that shit. Anyway. Shall we get started then with the
Yes, why
7-0
wouldn't
first?
we? I think there's an old acquaintance of ours is the first one, if I remember correctly.
Might be. Depends. I cut and pasted these into a random order after selecting them all. So I can't remember what is where.
Well,
It's more fun this way.
This is our friend and gold button winning thingamajig for with a very nice beginner friendly maps. Painting more Mantic terrain?
No.
No.
So this is actually complete now from Draconis. So over the course of the last 4 months, he's more or less gone, I want to start running Dead Zone. What do I need to do? What way shall I build the things? How will I paint the things? What techniques will I use? And over the course of 4 months, he's built a whole host of terrain. 3 new forces for Dead Zone. He already had some Forge Fathers kicking around that were half painted, and he's even run some demo games at his local club in Truro. And the project as a whole has come together absolutely beautifully.
Very nice, clean yellow paint job.
It is. It's almost entirely clean and yellow. I can see that because I'm looking at it, and I'm sure you can see it because you're looking at it. But all the people at home can see are 2 ugly fucking mugs.
Oh, no worries.
Pretty dark.
Better.
I'll find out in 20 seconds when the delay catches up. There we go. Here we go.
Yeah, lovely stuff.
It's project reviews for the blind soup, where we just describe what we're seeing and then you have to close your eyes and imagine.
Didn't I tell you this is the audio only version? You're not getting to see any projects.
It's the best way. 100% the best way. But yeah, I think it's a terrific project because it's obviously tested himself with some new techniques and bits and bobs that he hadn't been trying before. But also it shows what you can accomplish if you just fucking do it. I'd have spent the last 4 months just researching people's paint jobs online to get an idea of what I wanted to do without ever putting paint near a model. And the sets have come together absolutely wonderfully, especially the terrain, because I think that terrain there, you can see how it looks when it's been stuck on the table, and it's fucking cracking. That's a sweet like candy set of Dead Zone terrain. I'd quite happily play myself all over that.
And I can see this being put out on display on any convention and be an eye catcher simply for the fact that the colors are so vibrant and it looks so complete.
I can't remember who said it, and it was somebody, maybe Dan, maybe one of the Dans, but it was something to the effect of bright sci-fi, yes. A few weeks ago when we were looking at this, when they were still working through it, and it is I understand the 40k aesthetic, although I'm not entirely certain where it came from, because it didn't start off where everything was drowned in shades of black and brown. It started off very much as a Dread-like 2000 AD type thing. The background was dark, but not the boards and tables and paint jobs and the miniatures. But they just seem to have encapsulated that over the time. So it's really nice whenever somebody does sci-fi and gives it that serenity. Here's the noodle bar type of thing going on, and the TV objectives with the little screens, with the starring Warzing and the Baby Yoda show and Fallout. I remember you said Fallout in the comments. That was it. It's not a game I've ever played, so I wouldn't have spotted that.
Well, it's a board game, it's a miniatures game, and it's a video game series. So take your poison. And also a RPG by now.
No, the pencil drawings were. I mean, some of the pencil drawings were dark because they were pen and ink. I can't be arsed scrolling back to get my thing there. But there was an awful lot of really bright thing. It was a 2000 AD style illustration. You got a lot of black and white art in it because it was so much cheaper than color to produce. So you got like 4 pages of color in the middle. But yeah, that's why I like whenever somebody does things like Dead Zone or like Infinity, and then you see these really shining neon metropolises, or even even that, it's a bit industrial, but it's not falling apart, it's not ruined, it's just being
And he even
overwhelmed.
follow up with a battle report at the end.
Yep. Yeah, the battle report at his club, and you'll see there's like another mini battle report about running the actual demo games, and then the conclusions from actually running the whole Dead Zone project. And there's a second project. I have to say I'm getting slightly annoyed with Draconis on the grounds he's only done 2 projects and he's completed them both. And, so I might have to deal with him at some point. But for the time being, look, you're getting name checked. There you go. But yeah, it's really nice to see somebody just going in and going, I've got an idea and I'm just going to do it and not get massively distracted. And some weeks there weren't as many updates, and some weeks there were tons of updates, just depending on time permitting. But yeah, it was always good. Love his bins, yeah.
Yeah, it's something. This one's for you, Jerry, he says. My wife and I set up 150 battle points. Well,
yes.
That's I'm missing a sacrificial.
Hi Jill, hi Crispin.
Nut thing, a bowl of nuts for the squirrel at the side somewhere.
I had almonds in my pocket, but I think I've eaten them all.
Oh,
just when I'm walking around the house, get a pocket full of almonds.
Genuine and Crispin, you're late, you lot. What kept you?
What do they mean to arrive exactly when they want? But yeah, it's really nice, and I will, like I've said in the past, I'm just going to blatantly steal. He sat down with a notebook and worked out various ways to build all the components and blah, 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 because the problem with it being so interchangeable and breakdownable and recombinable is that you're left kind of going, well, do I just leave it flat and then build it every time we're going to play? And because I only play intermittently with up in Korean, having it flat packed is good, but there's no reason why I can't build sub-assemblies or things like that. And, yeah, it just looks fucking great.
I think if Mantic could incorporate the magnetic design from the project we watched 2 weeks ago, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I don't think they will, because it's a whole other kettle of fish starting to stick magnets into things.
Yeah, I guess.
And you don't have to stick them in advance, but I know people who have replaced all the nubs with magnets, which must have taken time, effort that I really couldn't be fucked with.
And
I could be a
patience
little bit
of a
fucked with
saint.
it. You can get square neodymium magnets at the same size as the square holes in the sections. So I'm not saying I haven't looked at the possibility, but I have so much of it. The amount of magnets I'd be sticking in there would probably quadruple the price of the fucking terrain.
Well, at that point, you'd be easier of just drilling small screws in and using big magnets as a connector on the side.
Yeah, sure. That sounds like something that could be done, yeah. Don't see why not. But anyway.
Well, this is a fun and finalized project, so we won't be going back to this again anytime soon, I guess.
No, I imagine with it being marked off as completed, we'll just have to wait to see what Draconis comes up with next. But so far that's been Warcry and then Dead Zone, so at least they're not stuck in a rut.
He teased something about Star Wars Legion. I'm pretty fond of that, I think. Everyone knows.
I wouldn't worry about that. I'm pretty sure Legion's gone, mate. Just leave it.
Yeah, it'll be Shatterpoint.
Yeah.
Hello, Nick. Welcome.
I will pick up a set of those tiles and see if I can incorporate them with the actual Mantic terrain, though, because I'm curious. But anyway.
So where do we go now?
Off to Lord of the Things. See if we can tempt Ben out with a piece of apple.
Okay.
So I think before Christmas, we'd had a look at this, and he'd started doing the basic work on sort of revamping some of the stuff. So we had the basic Gondorians and breaking out the wallpaper for the flagstone bases, but there's been substantial added to that. So we've got some scorpions, standard bearers, and even some cloaks going on, made from, I believe, baby wipes, because they're very fabricy. Oh, what are you doing in there? Oh, what?
Where? Oh, I
you're
wasn't
reading
anywhere.
stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh, you're jumping all over the place.
Yes, I am. I'm feeling like that. I'm a little, what's it called? Hobby butterfly.
Well, we all knew that. There's somebody saying oi oi and there's Uranus. I don't know why.
Good day, JC1, I think.
Could be. But I really like the technicolored dream cloaks for the veterans, because it breaks up just the stark Osgiliath, Minas Tirith sort of fighters who are all just, they're all black and silver, very dull after a while. So being able to go, well, here are the veterans with cloaks or bedrolls or whatever wrapped around them, because they're spending all their times. Oh, I'm aware of a Collins. I've seen his work. But it kind of also ties them to the Rangers to a certain extent as well.
I'm a bit irritated. Are these trees embossed on the shields, or are they free-handed?
No, those trees are embossed. They're part of the plastic things. Although, for extra points, I'm sure Collins and Chap would tell you that he free-handed them all. Don't use baby wipes, though. Oh, interesting. Why not? Oh, I quite like the texture on it. Oh, I see what you're having problems with the fluffiness. Interesting.
And there's a very descriptive way to cut them.
Yeah. Now, you'll probably have difficulty doing this with some things, because it's you don't often find it at a larger thickness. But plumber's tape. It's Teflon tape for reinforcing pipe joins, leaks and stuff, PTFE.
Oh, for when you screw them together so that there's actually a bond.
Yeah, thread tape. Comes in a tiny little thing like this, looking like a little tiny should be using fresh wipes. Could be that. This stuff at scale is so ridiculously fine and delicate, but it's like a vinyl. It's absolutely, it folds and creases like cloth will, but it has a good strength to it. You can still rip it and tear it. However, once you've got it onto an actual miniature and folded and cut the way you want it to, you're flying. But what I will say is, like I say, the thickness is your main issue if you're looking for a lot. But for little tiny 25mm Lord of the Rings people, you should have a look at that. Anybody doing anything in 15 or 10mm looking for cloth and fabric and stuff to go over boxes or like stowage and stuff on the back of tanks, this stuff is fucking amazing. Far better than cloth or any other thing. The other thing is unseized or unsized paper, but I'm still looking into that. It's the sort of stuff they make tea bags out of. That's a load of resin miniatures there that almost fucked on the floor.
Is that the same thing where you can buy the tea bag separate made from one-use paper?
I've no idea.
I have to look into that, because those are a thing around here. So basically, it's
never
a little
heard of that in my life.
It's a little pouch made of the same paper that tea bags are made of, and you can fill it your own tea.
Okay. Well, yeah, the Japanese calligraphy stuff and that aren't exactly the same because I think the teabag stuff is actually somewhat waterproof. The PFT should take paint once it's primed, but how well does it survive gaming? Well, same as anything. Depends whether you pick your models up by the extremities.
Yes, Demon Sub, we are teabagging miniatures.
I shall do some experiments and let you know. Anyway.
Jerry can incoming!
Not anytime soon.
Where do we go next?
I would swing by another project that it's not complete, but it's on little hiatus temporarily. Doug the Fug's Baron's War. He's completed his retinue, which means we've got heroes, squires, and all sorts.
Very colourful companions.
Well, I mean, they have to be. It's a good time had by all. I like the St. Ivel Knights and Squires. They've all got that sort of yellow and blue thrown around the little people. Because if you're not knights, you're little people. Isn't that the quote? You walked in at an awkward moment. I don't think you did. Oh, I seen that you're running 10mm Kings of War. That's salute. I'll be fucking on you like stink on Quim, mate.
Hello, defective dice. Welcome.
All moments are equally awkward.
Yes, and I do my very utmost to be the most awkward presenter possible.
Good times. Good times. I thought that was held by John or Shay. They stare at you blankly.
Yeah, but they're professionals. They get paid to do that. I'm doing this in my spare time, so
True.
I'm claiming the amateur crown here.
Claiming the amateur one. Makes sense. Makes sense. I was sure he was just about to give us an update about Assassin's Creed when you jumped in there, Dutch. Now you put him off his stride. Probably all shy and stuff.
The answer is no, says Mr. Cookie Skate. Or
yeah, he might say that, but anyway.
In his heart, he really wants to finish the thing so that we can stop pestering him.
I really like them. I also like, because obviously Doug is a Douglas, so he sort of started off with the I want the Black Douglas laying about him with Gay Abandon, and sort of went from there. So Percy St. Ivel Butter Knights there, and his retinue are the follow-up to the initial Black Douglas list, I think, which is absolutely gorgeous and has some stunking miniatures. I think they're the Matt Bickley sculpts from either Claymore or Antediluvian. Could be both. Definitely the Gallo Glass or his stuff. It started at Claymore and went to Antediluvian. So I keep looking at them going, I should paint some of these. But at the same time I go, why? Why would I?
Yeah, and it's just a joy to see these look so... I fail to grasp a proper word. It's
sexy.
Complete, continuous, consistent.
Can't.
Yeah, that's also a word with C. Very nicely done.
Yeah, thank you. You're welcome.
Star for effort.
Yeah. Good times. Good times. But yeah, so there's a little bit of history and research in there where he goes through some of the bits and pieces that have gone on to them. In some cases, he's used that. In other cases, he's kind of went, well, here's different heraldry that's allegedly attributed to the family, and then use that as a basis for doing a whole range of his own heraldry. So especially on the Percy Footman, you can see that there's sort of a smorgasbord of heraldry blended together. So it shows that it can look historical without actually breaking yourself trying to get all the facts.
Yeah, it's close enough that you could imagine those actually were on somebody's shield, even if there's no record of them.
Historic-ish. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Historically adjacent.
Historic-ish. Well, again.
Yes. I like the shield. I like the concept behind it. Going here we go. Everybody gets a bit, and
Also, may I point out, I like that the stabby bits are actually used as stabby
Oh
bits
yeah.
and are very bloody.
I mean, I don't think anybody gets into any of Doug's retinues for any of his games unless they've actually been blooded. He's very much like a Zulu king in that respect. Until you've washed the spears, you're less than nothing. So
Stab them all.
I tell you, if it had been a smaller game, they would have all been named because we know he does that. But in this case, I think only the posh people up front get a name, and then the dungers below will just have to make do with dunger.
Maybe someone of the lower classes, when they survive a very hard fight, they might get a name and veteran status.
It's the same as children. You should just number your children and only name them when they've done something worthy of a name. Just saying. It just makes sense. Why spend a lot of time coming up with a name for a kid and then it does nothing to actually, excel in life? That's time wasted. Just call it one and move on.
Yeah. Speaking of moving on.
Yep. I thought we'd go from some,
tiny to big,
excessive amounts of painting down to just somebody painting one model.
One single model.
Like the slacker he is.
Yeah, this is Dead Dave and his tiny fighting, not so tiny robot.
Yeah, one of those tight ones from that Forge World place, which I believe are very much the common thing and probably expensive in some respects. Yeah, I like this for a couple of reasons.
It's finished.
I don't know if it is 100% finished yet. I know these good final bits on is still doing bits and bobs, but I don't know if it's finished because there's no pennant between the legs of it, and I'd be very surprised if Dave didn't add a pennant to just drag along at crotch level.
Every time I come across a YouTube video where somebody's building any of these larger Forge World kits, the only thing I really hear is, "Oh God, you need to sand this, and you need to straighten these."
So much swearing at all of the bad miscasts and stuff. You're going, I've spent £1,000 on this, and it's a piece of shit. It's good. It's good times.
Yeah, it always makes me chuckle.
But the other thing I really like about it is it just proves I was right to buy an airbrush years ago. Because he reckons he sunk at least £100 just into priming the fucking thing.
Oh God!
And at that point, you're going, well, that's an airbrush and a compressor, even if you're just using a cheap one for priming and then laying down color. Because later on, the yellow armor plates that we see towards the end there, yeah, well, specifically the yellow, because your yellow is 3 coats of Rakarth flesh, followed by 3 coats of Everland Sunsets, then 12 coats of Aerial Yellow, to get a smooth and even finish, because I was having to do it all by brush. And at that point you're thinking, just get an airbrush, mate. It would save you so much time and effort.
And sanity.
It reminds me of that Fast Show bit where, every time they're explaining something, like stop motion animations, just like, we move his finger just a tiny bit, and then we just move his finger a tiny bit, we take a picture, and move his finger and then the bloke just goes, anybody else want to go to the pub? It just fucks off early. Likewise, it can be done here.
Yeah, that's.
But it's nice, and again, and this takes me back to what I was saying about the grim dark thing earlier. I mean, that comes screaming straight out of the pictures of the old Adeptus Titanicus and 40K, and bright poppy colors, no drab, miserable fuck Agrax Earthshade over everything,
My servitors keep me clean, you filthy peasants. Now move away.
But when you don't have the capacity to make some of these things anymore, they're going to, they'll throw a city's worth of cash at it on a weekly basis to keep the thing primed, maintained, running.
Yeah.
You imagine even as soon as a battle's finished, they're being scrubbed down and trussed up. So obviously it would have looked a bit better with a quick dry brush of beige, but you can't have everything. You have to just break out like a 4-inch. Oh no, actually, one of those pasting brushes. So like that big for doing wallpaper. I would get it over it.
At that scale, I think you could easily just pick up a bag of pigment and just dust it.
But yeah, it's a spectacular result from DD.
Yeah, the color scheme is very
Dusty pan and brush the wife.
very eye-searing.
I love it. I mean, the color scheme's gorgeous. Yeah.
It makes you wonder how many pots of paint did he use for all the yellow paneling. Wow.
Too many. Far,
Too
far
many.
too many.
That's the correct answer. Bing, bing.
Yeah. But yeah, big walkie thing. So.
Oh, Celtic Man, I find people will make it possible to shade or highlight things that big. It's just so.
You can, but there's an economy of scale. So at 28mm or smaller, you really have to push highlights and shade. So at like a 28mm figure, you're pushing them to give it something that resembles what you would see if it was actually full size, because light hits things in a very specific way. And then at 15mm or 10mm or 6mm, you're pushing the highlights or even your base colors higher and the shades darker, again to force that contrast. When you hit something that big, even though it's a 28mm model, you could still do the shading on it. But you sometimes see people do it on even 28mm tanks. They'll do soap. Well, no, what's the name of it? It's not modular. Ah, well, fuck it. Anyway, they do this, very specific airbrush shade for
modulation.
Tone. Modulation, thank you. I knew there was mod in there, but fucked if my head could remember it. I'm still thinking of 7mm. But it's sometimes it's too stark, it's too much. It's not what you would see realistically. So you could certainly go in and hit some additional highlights on this, but with the scale of it, you've already got a lot of the shading and highlight from the natural light around it anyway, so you don't have to force it quite as high.
And I guess
unless you want to.
I guess one thing you can't do with that kind of model is just get a big tub of Army Painter quick shade and dip it.
No, I mean, you'd require a paddling pool.
Small toddler's worth of dipping.
Sort of block and tackle system to dip it in and pull it out again. Well, JMS.
But can you imagine somebody doing what's this hydro painting stuff?
Oh, hydro dipping.
Hydro dipping.
I mean, because those panels are all separate, you could do something like that on
for,
those.
For
that'd
a
be interesting.
Very intricate camo scheme.
Doesn't even have big. I mean, I imagine these days it'd all be covered with those anime weep things.
Oh yeah. Oh, Hazy Boy, I think shaking off would be not only fun, but quite an exercise.
Well, no, because you're thinking about this wrong. Again, it's economies of scale. It's so much bigger, you just get yourself a leaf blower or a hair dryer. Just walk around it, blasting it. Give it a quick... you'll pebble dash your neighbour's fence, but, fuck them. Yeah.
Yes, Stanley, waifu pictures would be a good Sklanish theme, but I think if you cross those hobbies, then that's going to end badly.
I mean, it's funny because I've seen a few people paint big titans and stuff like that in the past, and like you were saying, Celtic, a lot of times people will, I wouldn't say they gild the lily on it, but you get really technically great painters and they spend an age doing intricate work like the flames and stuff like that on them, and it looks amazing. But there's something about the very clean, crisp paint job that he's done there that I really appreciate. I like the fact that it's not overworked, and they both have a place.
Oh, just the hydro dipping, yeah, but also I think anime hentai motifs would be interesting on a chaos night of sorts.
Yeah. Anywho.
Yeah, where do we go next?
Well, there's only one way to go.
Down?
Theoretically down, yeah. At least down scales, anyway. Saga.
So, Hutch.
Hutch finally got round to finishing off his saga, which obviously we'd seen a little while ago, and it was he'd ordered a load of shields from Little Big Man Studio and had to park them until they arrived. But they arrived here now, so they've all been decaled up. See how I'm not even commenting on the fact that that guy should have a two-handed weapon because he's. But anyway, no, we'll let that go. You can use it as multiple things. He should have a DNX. I've got that model. He had a DNX. Anyway,
those transfers are lovely.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for the old Little Big Man Studios transfers. They do all the heavy lifting. You can do a decent standard paint job across your miniatures, and then just all the extra eye-catching detail on them just pushes them on. There's obviously a mix of some of the shields have got freehand work on them because they're odd shapes, like that concave bastard, which I absolutely hate. Well, that's a very pictish looking shield. I presumably just went through and picked shields that amuse him. I've got a whole host because there are different shield designs, and then there's some where the images and the like overlap. So there'll be Viking and Anglo-Dane and Anglo-Saxon and Saxon and Pictish and Norse and generic Dark Age, and you can really go to town with them. But it gives you a really nice,
very neat-looking little Saga warband.
4 points unless he's running. Unless he's running some of those things as levy split up, which would be madness. Don't do that.
I know I've said this multiple times, but the point system on Saga still gets me.
Well, it's 1 point for you.
Yeah, but it's just because every other system I've played so far works completely different, and almost every time goes into a 3-digit number for any kind of unit because of balancing.
There's balancing here. 4 Hearthguard are worth 8 warriors who are worth 12 peasants. 4, 8, 12. Very simple.
Well, why can't other games do that?
Because other games are ridiculous. Or they require more granularity or something like that. This game is not one in the list building. This game is one in how you use your battle board, which I think is a better way of doing it for Saga in particular. Obviously, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's right up there.
Mr. Stockwell wants to know what's the main attraction to Saga, then, yet to try it.
There's a couple of things. One, list building is ridiculously easy, like I've just said. So you just go and playing a 6-point game, and you just sit there and go, this week I'm going to have 6 points of levy and put 72 dungers with slings on the field and hide my warlord behind them. Or you can go, I'm going to take 6 points of elite mounted Hearthguard. So there's a lot of flexibility, even though the system itself is very simple. But it's the battle boards. I've got a stack of about 30 of them behind me because I was laminating them recently. Plus the battle boards come into it. So there's almost you've got a command and control element because you roll a set number of dice that your force generates. So at the start of every turn, your warlord will generate so many dice, 1 or 2. Your Hearthguard and warriors will generate some. Your peasants, if there are enough of them, will generate some. But you're capped at 8 dice. Those dice are both used to activate units to do things, but also to activate additional abilities. So there'll be turns where you might want to move everything, and some turns where you want to move half your stuff and then put a load of dice onto other abilities because you've got, either defensive or offensive abilities. So you have to work that out all the time. And then there'll be times where you want to do something and you don't roll the right dice. So your levy only activate 50% of the time. Your warriors will activate, 80% of the time. And your Hearthguard and Warlord always activate because they will activate on any dice face. So you always have to take that into account. So the command and control / friction within the game is very simply done. And then obviously you've got all that weird magic-y stuff that Warren says isn't magic enough, and I say I'm fairly certain Thor didn't come down and let you re-roll all your attacks and explode that unit. So it is magic. It's just just a different set.
All the explodey bits.
They've pulled with the most recent FAQ, the complicated Age of Magic system is now baked into the core Saga game, so you can spend half points on things and you can take a 6-point list, but then you might take half a point of peasants and then use the other half point somewhere else to reinforce another unit. So it adds a bit more flexibility into that list building if you desire it. Then of course Magic has the replace half a unit of this with 2 large monsters or a flying cav or something. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess wasn't there talks at some point where there would be Saga games in the studio?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't worry, I'll come anytime now.
Great.
As soon as Lloyd's finished building Rome, I will play him on camera. Doesn't look like he started on that stack of stuff in the corner yet.
Is he now a subcontractor at your home and you don't let him out until he's finished building Rome?
No, he very wisely avoids coming in the front door. Clever like that. Keeps
like witches, only go in via the means of a back door.
Well, you're saying Lloyd's a backdoor boy.
I'm never going to comment on that.
Don't let the long hair fool you. My bread's not buttered that way. You've picked the wrong MacLeod boy.
But Lloyd has picked the wrong, not me. So where do we go off from here?
Oh well, but before we leave there, we obviously have to have a quick look at the Walking Dead stuff as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Almost deprived the people.
Yeah. So I distracted by Saga, but that was your fault. We had the Walking Dead. Now it's reached a conclusion, and there won't be any more Walking Dead. Like many other people, he's decided to go in and finish. So when the news came it was going, he tried to pick up everything he could. He's missing Abraham. I have one. You're not having it because I don't want my collection to be incomplete. Presumably he's got the Abraham from the core game, unless he only bought in with the base game after it came post Kickstarter retail. If that's the case, I would have a second Abraham that you could have because I would still have one for myself. I shall discuss this in the messages with you later on. Anyway, but yeah, there's a whole wall of painted things, as you can see, including Michonne and Ezekiel's tiger, which probably has a name. No, hang on, because she is the one from the Kickstarter core set thing. He must have Abraham. He must be after the other version of him.
And you're not parting with that.
They have different sculpts and different cards. Oh, well, yeah, I know they have different sculpts, but I didn't realize they had different cards because I haven't paid attention. Because Negan, I've got 4 versions of Negan, I think, and all of them have the same. I think most of them have the same card. Well, certainly some of them have the same card. There's a certain amount of repetition with Negan. But look at that. It's jail time, everyone. It makes me almost want to paint mine.
Looks like the dance sequence from Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense. But I like the... I always had an idea to do mine in a comic style. Everybody in black and white, except the walker's skin, which would be red.
But your terrain, the terrain is all colourful.
Well, my terrain's not all colourful because I haven't painted any of it. And the barricades and stuff I painted black and white. So now I'm just looking at this thinking, do I just go with that and just finish them? I just go, well, fuck it, they're finished. So, I mean, it's just, it's interesting. Yeah, the walkers are great, especially for the prison, and so many children that you can put into Negan's gang, which is very handy because you can always club one over the head for additional action points. It's a good way to do it.
Is it?
Oh, very much so. So much so that Ronnie Renton stared at me for a while and went, we're going to be putting things on the cards where you can't have people from outside different factions. I'm going, okay, Ronnie, whatever you say, be it. Right,
It's my
kids.
game. I play like how I want.
Right, kids, line up. One of you is getting twatted, and the rest of you spare pick up whatever fucking supplies you find. Yeah, but it's a substantial chunk. 170 figures painted so far, and still about the same again to be done for completion. I didn't see much in the way of. I think you must have some of the horses in there because there's a few oval bases, so that must be the kingdom. So there were obviously a few. I think there's a whole faction of armor-wearing, sword-wielding
Mad Max.
Well, yeah, kingdom lunatics on horses. Yeah, so it's nice. It's really nice. So I'll be keen to see what he does next.
Yeah. So now I guess it's time to go next.
Yeah. So.
And it's time
We've
to
already
go
mentioned
big
once today,
or
so-
go home.
Billion Suns. This is a Billion Suns fighter.
Tiny fighter.
Yep. Fighter for Billion Suns scale being put together by Crispin. As a love letter to Ben. The obviously the members of the House of Water, #BestHouse, have been seeing semi-updates on this here and there, where we get to bask in the magnificence of the insanity that Crispin is putting into this.
At some point, somebody must come by his shop and just go, "What the fuck are you doing?"
So he's making a Billion Suns fighter, and we all know that.
Yeah,
That-
we know that, but
And consequently, you can also play skirmish games in 28mm inside.
very practical thinking there. Good man.
Yes.
Always
yes,
a
it
letter
is.
to fuck Ben. He knows what he did.
That's the one.
I guess Ben is the only one who knows what he did because.
Well,
Reasons.
weirdly, because we were talking about this recently, and Ben doesn't know what he did, but we all knew what he did. So that amuses me in some respects. And if he knew what he did, then maybe he'd be, more recalcitrant and would fix it.
With we know, you mean yourself and Crispin and everybody else in the House of Water.
Yeah, other people as well. Other people may apply. So, as you can see there, the level for additional decking is getting higher. I believe it's 3 for the upper deck, 3 stories tall is the current plan.
And look there. Either Warren stole an idea from him, or he stole an idea for Warren, or two like-minded people. This is the toy from that Buzz Lightyear movie that Warren showed off on the last.
It'd be so much higher than your 3 decks. What was that? It's 3 decks for the gunnings, isn't it? And then you're going to have your top. Oh, it's a smaller toy.
Yeah, that's not just mental hazy boys. That's
Yeah.
borderline lunatic.
Ah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to them. You don't listen to them, son. You keep going. But yeah, this. I mean, in and of itself,
The sheer amount of plastic that has gone into this.
the engineering feat is just fantastic. The fact that if you go down to January's, we're probably here in January anyway, but if you go down to January's, you'll be able to see the inside of the lower deck where the games of Kill Team and the like, or dare I say it, Dead Zone, could be played.
Quick question. Are you cheating? Because the archways look like proper archways the way they are, but the eagles look a bit stretched. Have you taken somebody's STLs and just ambiguate them on one axis to make them bigger? You lazy kid.
It's yeah, it might not be stretched.
Oh, that Aquila is stretched.
It might be compressed. That could be the right height, but it could be too narrow.
Well, that would be cheating too.
You can't cheat with 3D printing.
Oh,
That's the whole point of it.
let's not go there.
Yeah.
Oh, fun fact. Today, I'll forget his face. Another YouTuber, Nat1 Videos, who has a Discord channel, today started a giveaway on Instagram for a resin printer. No, FDM printer.
Right. Okay.
And for shits and giggles, I entered the that thing and told him in his Discord, mate, you put in a wrong link, because he was referencing his own profile to follow as a part of the rule, but he missed that the autocompletion on Instagram tagged another user and not his profile. So he thanked me for pointing that error out. He corrected it, and I jokingly said, yeah, so when do I get the printer? And then somebody else just said, if you're now winning that thing, this will be highly suspect. And just for that drama, I want to win that thing.
Nice. The important thing to remember is, I mean, it's not a 40k box, so you're not likely to win it.
That's true. But it's same as 40k, a thing I really don't want or need.
Oh, there you go. Your quid's in. So yeah. So priming and painting has begun on the. I can't remember. It's not the. It's because the wheat straw is obviously complete. Is this named? Is this the Ben?
Bigger stickers.
Needs a quality name, Crispin. You know that. Just saying.
Yeah, we've basked in this insanity.
He has like multiple printer banks running at his work all the time. It's. I mean, I think more time is spent with the printing, which has become sort of industrial at this point, than anything else. I mean, look at that.
It's insane.
It's great. Makes my jubblies tingle.
While we're on the subject of many spools of plastic, have you seen the news that Games Workshop is now accepting recycling bins for sprues?
I hadn't. But, you know.
So Games Workshop, of all companies, are now setting up cans in their stores to accept empty sprues to be recycled.
Are they going to give you 20p back, like you used to get money back on your bottles?
Nope.
Because essentially at this stage, all they're doing is getting free materials back.
Yep.
You've bought the materials, they're going to take them for free and then sell them back to you in 3 weeks' time.
That was my first thought eventually when I read the news and they all made it like, oh, we're so environmental friendly. No, you fuckwits, you're just sourcing material for cheap.
That's how you cut down the cost of production.
There will be some poor bugger in a warehouse going through the sprues and sorting GW and non-GW to make them one kind of plastic, and then they go in the shredder, and then they will be used again.
Oh, I don't even know if they would bother sorting them, to be fair.
I think
the only thing will be some companies use ABS rather than PVC.
They would need to sort some things out to not mix different materials that could lead to problems. Yeah, Jill, basically it is the right thing to do to recycle them, but
yeah, but we have recycling here. Do you not have recycling in your countries? I've got a big fuck off bin out the back. Plastic goes into. Just go there, and then they take it and recycle it. It's great. That's if I'm not going to just melt it down and use it myself.
Or use it to make sprue goo.
Surely you have recycling in England. You're not that backwards, are you? Somebody in the chat tell me.
You're talking to the people in the country where they are allowed to spill sewage unfiltered into the rivers.
But then that's because somebody makes money out of that. That's different.
Well, yeah.
Because I know here that the binmen open the bins and have a quick look in, and if you've not recycled, they fucking leave your bin with a sticker on it telling you to sort your shit out. So if you've gone, I can't be arsed, I'm just going to bung all this in the black general waste bin, then it gets left, and you've got 2 weeks to sort yourself before it gets picked up.
Oh, Dr. Anakin, of course you can put sprues in.
Wow.
And miniatures. Even painted ones.
Well, yeah. Justin did that, but to be fair, God struck him down.
See what did it bring him? A heart attack.
Yep. That's how that goes. Oh, it's a shame.
They should go all back to metal cast only. That would be easily recyclable.
Sweet metal.
Also, make it more leady so that people can lick it again.
I would. Somebody was trying to tell me 1.5 mil styrene sheet would make movement trays for lead miniatures. I'm going, no, fucking won't, mate. I put 3 lead ogres on that and it's going to fucking bend.
How would you ever try to make a movement tray out of 5mm foam for metal miniatures?
1.5 mil styrene. I didn't say foam. I didn't say 5 mil either. If you're on the Hitler juice?
No, just coffee.
Oh.
At least I hope it's coffee. Something with C.
Oh, hopefully it's not the Fantasy Flight games.
Cocaine!
It's got cocaine in it, Father. No, sultanas. I always get them confused. Anyway, G has been doing a
Green undead people.
A bit more work on his wiki wawa undead. I thought I'd just introduce people because we've not been here in a little while.
Henry and Hannah. Oh, they look lovely.
Yep. I mean, she's slightly less terrifying than the nuns I went to school with. So yeah,
but that's just because she's so tiny compared to you.
Oh, that's harsh.
What?
One of his neighbours dumped stuff
in
their bin, and then they didn't get picked up because of it.
Oh, that's... I hold them accountable for it.
There's always some cheeky bastard. I don't know what it is. The row of houses I'm in and the row behind me, all our bins are lined up perfectly straight along the fences at the back. I mean, it's like regimented. And then across the road, it's like they just get out of their backyard and just push them down the alley. And there's just this clump of fucking bins. Just look across. It's the same way that you don't know anybody across the street. I mean, I know my next door neighbours and the other people in this row, but those fuckers over there in the even number houses, don't know any of them. Same sort of thing with these bins. You can there's a definite dividing line here. Anyway,
you never should trust people living in houses with even numbers. They're odd.
Very much so. And there's the BFG, the big wind-up gun. I was watching the Book of Eli for the first time ever last week, and they've got one of those guns.
Is that the one with the blind person going around?
Yeah, I'm still not entirely certain he was blind, because he did an awful lot of stuff that led me to believe he wasn't blind. Up until the point where at the end it was like, oh, but I am blind, really? Are you though? I mean,
if you need to tell people that you're blind, you're obviously not blind.
Shocking.
You know what I like about these minis the most?
Guns. They've all got guns. Pew pew.
No, that's a plus, but not what I like the most.
Okay.
He even does less with the bases than I do.
You know, why worry yourself? You've done the hard part. You've painted the miniature. Slap some colour on the base and away you go. It's only for board gaming anyway. Well, I do like that barman with his lovely apron, big handlebar, and fucking massive shotgun. He'd be perfect for Dead Man's Hand, having as one of the fine upstanding citizens.
Gun goes boom.
Yeah. I may be shit, but I've got a shotgun. And that puts me at a whole other level.
That's a nice looking miniature there.
Which one?
Trixie.
Trixie, one of the ladies of negotiable affection.
Yes.
I mean, when the dead walk, all bets are off. Everybody's out there. Pablito. Pablito looks shockingly like Tao Chi. It will require you to scroll all the way back up, but I'm just saying when you hit Pablito, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's
not Pablito. That's Thomas.
Oh well.
You could tell because he doesn't look Mexican. But he's got some sort of fancy flat cap on. He's got a cigarette or cigar and a bit of a tash. But if you look at Oh, jeez. Little image up at the top. Oh, we're over it, so we can't see it on the screen because our faces are there. People at home
How
probably
about
see it
now?
though.
That was good.
If you say
Yeah,
so.
there's a certain resemblance.
I mean, certain resemblance. They're even wearing the same hat and coat. Who knew Pablito was based on somebody living or dead?
Maybe it's the same person. He's undead and living incognito so far, and now he has blown his cover.
Clearly a seamstress. That is the one. Yep.
Holy fuck, what's this?
What's what? That's one of the abominations. Cheeky cockney chappy with his bowler hat. Chim chimney, Mary Poppins.
I hope this was once a white shirt and is now just bloodstained and not a pink shirt.
I mean, could go either way. A lot to be said about pink shirts in the Old West. A lot of them have feety pajamas with the little flap for pooping, or that sort of pink colour, so it could go either way.
Oh, look, somebody's taking pictures.
It's Mr. Tulip. Could be. But yeah, really nice set of Old Westy zombies.
A glowing one, like from the Fallouts.
Yeah, well.
Ah. Yeah,
that's how it happens. You never know.
Lovely set of miniatures.
No idea what the Wild West game is like. Only played the Dark Age. Dark Age. There's a zombie side Dark. There's like 150 of them. I played one of them. It was all right.
I'll make a prediction now. I'm looking at the bottom of my coffee cup.
Yes.
Prediction number 1.
Yes.
It's almost empty. That's not a good thing. And prediction number 2. This project is bound to have a golden button.
I think it has already.
Well, I can't be too bad to get another one, can it?
Well, it might do. I mean, it requires me to talk to Ben, and fuck him, he knows what he did.
Yeah, sorry. Nope, no second gold button because of
Black Plague. That's it. I knew there was something. Anyway, yeah, it wasn't great.
Black Plague.
That's what happens when Coleman Aeronaut, a website based solely on rating people's painting, thinks that they're a game manufacturer.
Another zombie-esque project. Collins again.
Yep. Well, I had to because I quite like this. I really like this.
Oh look, he made a street corner.
He did, but it's better than that. It's little filling station for playing like your Walking Dead games because you just need 20-inch by 20-inch. I think is the play area for the Walking Dead. So I mean that's not just a little diorama piece. That's a whole gaming table right there. And then depending on how you shore up the defenses.
I've taken a look at that set for that gas station recently. I don't know where I stumbled across it, but it's very affordable, and it matches almost 1-to-1 the ones that are used for Fallout.
I mean, we could probably get a response if it's not actually written down where it comes from. I thought it was though.
Yeah, I guess I read it on here and just took a look at the manufacturer's website and how much they charge for it, and it was, I think, 29 euros.
Oh, it's TT Combat. It's one of theirs.
It wasn't too expensive.
Yeah. I would, except I got a whole rake of post-apocalyptic stuff, including a petrol station from Studio Level in Poland that I'm looking at actually finally doing something with. I completely forgot I bought them until I went to lift up a box the other day and was going, this weighs a fucking ton. What's
Surprise!
In this? Just literally crammed to the top with just resin in every cubby hole, buildings within buildings type of thing, just to get them all to fit inside it. So that's me sorted for The Walking Dead. I don't play any other modern games. I've no idea why I bought so much of it. Probably because they weren't going to fund their Kickstarter if I didn't.
Yeah,
I like them. So
I'm pretty sure, should I be getting back into playing Fallout anytime soon, this would be one kit that's high on my list for making a small board or something. Because if you ignore the dinosaur cutout, it's literally almost one-to-one the gas station that Modifius is selling as a bloody STL file.
Oh, well, there you go then. Yeah, definitely ignore the dinosaur. I'm fairly certain you could take that dinosaur off or not put it on to begin with. Put your own thing up there. Change the name.
I'm not putting my thing up there.
Go on, put your thing up there.
No.
I like the help me and the no gas sign. Would I be correct in thinking the no gas sign also came courtesy of one of those used baby wipes? Were you on a roll
yeah,
at that
Dark
point?
Delegate. I already forgot. Red Rocket at the beginning was available from Battle Systems, but it was horrendously expensive, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that's good. Be nice to see what Needy Cat come up with for that.
I thought Factions were already out. Oh, see.
Who knows?
But I'm so far behind the hype curve on anything. It's yeah. Oh look, rebasing zombies.
Weirdly, when I seen this and I seen the sprue with the little lip up, as if you could have them in an index card system, I went, I know exactly where they've come from, because I have a rake of stuff from Fluid 3D Workshop. They used to be called Brickbat before they changed to Fluid 3D Workshop, probably because they thought this sounds a bit better. I really like them. They're nice. Anyway, yeah, the magnets are handy, so you don't always have to have your piss off no gas sign up. Yeah, it's a really nice little board.
Indeed.
I was surprised that you'd designated the area. I think so. I know you're saying you'd use it for like solo gaming and stuff, but I would have thought if you just tarmacked the whole thing, then you could lift that off and just like have cars in it. There's like a little car park sometimes, a few picnic benches, just to change up. Because you did mask off where it sat, didn't you? So it sits into it. I'll let you tippy tap that while we go to the next one anyway. But anyway, just make more boards. Oh, well, fair enough.
if they're that small in size, that is actually an option.
Yeah, it just means you have to have a place to put things
and display them. I think that this board is small enough to be probably put on the wall as just a piece of, well, decorative art.
You have a really I mean, I don't know much about art, but I know that's not fucking art, Sonny Jimbo. Don't hang gaming tables off the wall like that.
Hang everybody.
At some point it will fall off. Then you have to explain to the paramedics why you're concussed due to a dino gas building falling on your head.
Nope, not going to happen. So Horace 500.
Yeah, Australian, but we'll not hold that against him. Last year, painted over 650 models. So this is this year's log to see whether or not he can do the same, but similar but different, but more.
650. That's almost 2 models a day. That's
yeah. He does cheat a bit because, as he says, he doesn't put eyes on characters. Yeah. So in many respects, you could say he didn't finish 650 models last year. He didn't have eyes on them. I mean, that's how I would view that. Like everybody in the comments are probably agreeing with me. I'm not going to look I'm just going to assume you are.
Yeah, comments are quite quiet recently. So he's done some cunning greenskins.
Yep, hobgoblins.
They look more like, well, some metallurgists running rampant.
Well, yeah, could be that. Could be that, certainly. They're like Serengeti swamp donkeys. They spend their time crawling around the swamp, stealing people, grabbing children. That man catcher, though, I will say that man catcher is so huge, it wouldn't actually catch a man.
Well, unless he grabs him by the hip.
Yeah, if it's not going around the waist, I'm pretty sure, even if it went around the waist on an awful lot of people, you could sneak out of that. Maybe he's after bigger fish. But
I like the zombie archers.
yeah, the Skelly Bob Archers are nice. I think they're another board gamey type thing. But I like the basing. If you look at the base, the flagstones have been sort of painted on, which I think he did with something, or somebody in the project system definitely painted flagstones onto stuff. Actually, I want to say it was Hellboy. Who was it painted? Was it one of you? Was it Demon Sub? Who painted flagstones on their Hellboy miniatures? I'll find out.
Nick wants that somebody tells him there's a band called Serengeti Swamp Donkeys.
There's not, but that is what we used to refer to any woman that Noel would pick up in a bar. We were younger then and not nice people, but they were Serengeti Swamp Donkeys. He had unusual proclivities. I often said wee Jimmy Cranky would be his ideal date, based on his granny and midget porn fetish. So, just saying. We called our pub quiz team Fan Dabby Doozy one night, and he got really annoyed and punched a phone box and left early.
Fucking hell.
Keep your friends close.
And your enemies even closer.
That's the one.
Oh, look.
Yeah.
Green guys.
Yeah, the nurgly ones.
I know that they have some blemishes, but they look way too clean for nurgly ones.
I mean, again, not everything has to be dirty.
No, but some yellow pus-filled blobs and bits.
They've got little weeping storage down there, but they don't have loads of it. They obviously maintain themselves. They're body conscious.
Even more undeady people.
Sarastro did on the Black Plague painting tutorials. That might be where I've seen it, because I am subscribed to Sarastro. I'm sure I've seen it in the project system, though.
Maybe somebody else has seen Sarastro and replicated that?
Copied him! Plagiarism! Fuck's
Yes.
sake.
Being inspired by.
Plagiarism's outrageous. Speaking of plagiarism, did anybody see the TT Combat Kickstarter?
No.
They've literally just taken the Games Workshop Dogs of War army and made halfling versions of all the regiments. Birdmen of Cataraza, halfling birdmen. Long Drunk Slayer Pirates, halfling Slayer Pirates.
As long as they...
Rico's Republican Guard Heavy Armored Pike, halfling Rico's Republican Guard Heavy Armored Pike.
As long as they didn't take the original models, scanned them in, and just shrunk them by 50%.
I mean, it wouldn't have been as blindingly obvious if they had, I think. Anyway. Where are you up to? I'd lost myself. Well, there we are. Song of Ice and Fire, Mormon Bruisers, and the Garl Stark Spearmen. Quite like I thought they were Car Starks based on the TV series, but let's face it, probably not. I quite like them because all the rest of the Starks, anytime you see them painted, they're always very dull. I suppose that whole it's grim up north thing. Everybody's in greys, all their sigils and all the rest are all very dull and muted, and then these ones come along,
praise the sun,
poppy as fuck. not only will we kick our ass, you'll know who we are when we come to do it. And notice how they've been based correctly,
like the gods intended.
I mean, why not? Presumably they're going to be used for something else.
Let's say Saga, for example.
Well, anything. I quite like the fact that he said the local Song of Ice and Fire community flew into a rage, so I'm going to continue to do it from now on.
Because you put him
Hilarious.
on square bases?
Well, you know,
What's wrong with people?
who knows? Because once again, like the Conquest and some GW Lord of the Rings games, you play them on squares. The round is fucking pointless as far as I can see. I have absolutely no idea why they feel the urge to do them. Here they're all on rounds, but you're going to play them on these square movement trays. Everything's going to be measured from the tray, not from the individual people. No.
But, the only reason I can think of is if you use round bases in a square tray, you have a better way of making sure that models don't interfere with each other.
Sure.
Because you can turn them to a degree.
Or just make it so the miniatures rank up to begin with. Look, he's
Yeah,
done
but
it
that
there
would
with those spearmen.
that would take patience and skill and time and money.
Regiments. They're all regimenty.
Regiments. So I'm guessing we're venturing on.
Yep.
People are saying my minis are unplayable because they're on squares.
Oh my god. Oh. Just throw peanuts at their head.
Moonstone. Steve, you're still there. We're looking at your project now, so you might be able to defend yourself for any mistakes we find. And because you're a bloody professional, we are looking with a very close eye on this.
Yeah, so Lubard, the blind cultist giant for the La Chevalte. This is the alt version, which I was going to buy at one stage, and I looked at it, but I really liked just the dainty Lubard nimbly going forward with his little fingers out, gently holding his chain. But this one's really nicely done. I particularly like the fact that he's gone in and done a whole host of tattoo work.
Yeah, the tattoo work is amazing. Also, he doesn't look aggressive as such. He looks like somebody in the first row of any metal concert just going, let the music flow.
Also, yes.
And everybody behind him is praying that he's not climbing on this stage, making a stage dive.
Yeah, they don't want him jumping off like Bat Dad and Randy. I didn't hear no bell. But yeah, it uses the standard color scheme of Lubard from the sort of the box art. It's the green and yellow striped pants and the black executioner's hood. But I have to say the addition of the tattoo work really lifts and adds a lot more interest to the model, because there's acres of big wobbly empty flesh there.
Oh, look, nipples.
So much, with nipples. Oh, Justin would be putting black rectangles over all the squares at the moment.
So he couldn't have painted this on Twitch because that would have got him demonetized.
Thankfully, he was in a hot tub at the time, so they turn a blind eye.
And just when I thought we had passed that and sailed that ridge, no,
Yep,
you'll bring it back.
Why would I not? Why would I not?
Yeah, look at that smile. Any dentist would be proud of that smile. Look how clean all those teeth are.
We will forgive Steve for not painting eyes on this occasion, because he doesn't have any. They've been gouged out. He's blind. Have you had a chance to get any games in, or are you still painting the stuff, Steve?
I think Steve has left the building.
Has he? He's buggered off. Oh, you can't trust him. I know he was saying the Twitch app was shite, but I didn't understand what that meant. So
I'm guessing he's taking care of the little one, and then... Oh, no, there he is.
Yes, yeah, see.
Oh, he says.
I imagine he's just phased back in, so he's missed everything we've been saying up until now. So
he had his spidey senses were tingling. Oh, somebody's looking at my project.
Touching it. Let me be able to sleep. Don't do that. Please don't come round your house.
He said putting to sleep, not putting down, Jerry.
That's what you
Wording.
promise.
Very.
You take the dog.
For a
Have
walk.
the dog. You put the dog to sleep.
Oh, you put the dog down.
No.
Or you take it behind the shed.
If-
Yeah, the ads are bloody annoying. That's why I'm using an ad blocker almost all the time.
Oh, you should definitely keep averting your eyes, definitely. We're just asking, have you actually managed to play a game, or are you still getting everything hinted up? Because I know your missus was interested in playing, wasn't she?
Oh, look, a spatula.
It's, well, what's funnier is it's called a fish slice. So I quite like that. The fact that he's got a fish slice hanging off his back.
One of these jokes that's only very good for people who are native to the language.
Exactly. Like putting a baby to sleep.
Now!
Just saying.
I'm saying
Just
you're
saying.
wrong.
Look at this tiny homunculus stepping on one of the pages of his book, for fuck's sake. This is why homunculuses get shot. Just saying.
Oh, look at all that nice paperwork he's done. And all of a sudden, he summoned a demon.
Oh, I think it was probably very deliberate, to be brutally honest. Nobody's entirely certain what those wizards are up to in Tauber in their tower.
Oh, fighting rabbits.
Boris the Bunny Summoner plus bunnies. Oh, I found my other thing the other day. I've put it somewhere clever now. Oh well.
To never be found again.
No, it's the giant bunny, the evil bunny, jackalope.
Oh.
There was an angry jackalope. I was
Oh,
like,
I
I've already got a
remember that
regular
one.
jackalope, so I got the angry jackalope, and I couldn't for the life of me remember where it was. And then I opened something the other day, and it contained it.
And it sprung at you.
I've put it away again. Well,
Oh,
not
look!
that.
Who's there?
Child!
Look.
You're painting the angry jackalope at the moment? Nice.
That's a 1-to-1 mini growing in scale. Enjoy the time you can hold her up with 2 hands. This time will pass faster than you'll imagine. And next time you know it, it'll ask for keys for the car. And you'll be not able to get up from the sofa.
That's how it works. Noel the Troll is particularly nice. And I also like the fact that, well, we were talking about Saga earlier and its flexibility for list building. Moonstone has a ridiculous amount of flexibility in that you just need to pick 6 models that come from the same faction. Bam, do whatever you like. Want to play all trolls? You can do all trolls now. You know.
Crispin, your daughter's married, so you're a father-in-law. Well, that's
Need to get the Angry Jackalope and Eric the Enlightened finished before Adepticon. Ooh. Presumably you're planning on entering Adepticon and not just going over to play.
Oh, Jerry, I'm pretty sure you've seen this weird videos yourself back in the day. I've
seen an awful lot of weird videos.
There's one where a somebody on stage gives a speech about what happens to family when a man gets married. The father of his wife gets his father-in-law, and the mother of his wife becomes his mother-in-law. What does the wife become? The law.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking.
I'm in for the Moonstone tourney. Oh, best of luck there.
Oh,
then.
there's a Moonstone tourney. Oh, that's nice. I know Tom was saying that not this year, but next year he's hoping to get across to some in Europe. Apparently, the Moonstone community is biggestest in Germany, bigger than it is in the UK. But he hasn't been able to get over to any of the events there. So that'll be an ideal opportunity for Tim. to get involved in Moonstone.
I remember quite a few months back you said it would be nice to see miniatures for Moonstone actually be painted in a way that they are depicted in the story, like at the night.
Night, yeah.
With,
everything dark and just lit by Moonstones
has
or
anybody
OSL.
done that yet?
No.
Why not? It's so obvious.
Because it's a pain in the hole. I think is the answer.
Did you just see what Steve had painted? I'm going to put out there that painting something with OSL, as you suggest, would be much more work than that.
There's also the similarity, the repetition. If everything is painted in shades of blue, grey, and black with only minor amount of highlighting, then it could look very dull in comparison. Whereas this is obviously a ton of whimsy on it. But I'll play in a dark room, that would work. My friend used to do that whenever we were role playing. If the lights went out or whatever, he would knock the lights out, especially when we were playing 16th century. Lamentations of the Flame Princess. There's a lot of time spent playing by candlelight, and all of us are fucking glass wearers to begin with. None of us could see anything. You'd be surprised how little light 3 candles give off.
Oh yeah.
You're very fucking Dickens at that point. There's an awful lot of holding stubs of candles. I'm trying to work out what's going on.
Burning your eyebrows and
yeah. But yeah, I would love to see a full table and setup done as if it was nighttime. And then, have your lamps and moonstones and blah, blah, blah. But, keep the actual coloration on the figures to a limited palette.
Yeah, and Orinoco, which I see what you're trying to do there. That's not going to happen.
True, too. Yeah, you could. I mean, I'm not saying you couldn't. You painted those bot war things.
Yeah, but there's not a single piece of OSL in there. And
because you're not pushing yourself. You should push yourself. Best way
I
to do
tried.
it via
I failed horribly. And I'm not doing it again.
I've got the glow in the dark D4 from the Kickstarter somewhere. I was really annoyed. The original ones were glass, but they don't do them anymore. They're too expensive. Pain in the arse to make. But anyway, yeah, some beautiful stuff there from Steve-O.
So where do we go next?
We go to Krish.
Frozen Cities, the Red Warrior.
That's the one. So.
And that is a Red Warrior, indeed.
There's several flavors of Warrior coming up. These were showing off mid-July last year. Going, I've got these miniatures. And now they're painted. Thus beating me for speed painting. But
this lady reminds me of somebody I can't put my finger on.
Okay, no.
I think some movie character, but I can't remember.
Pass. Don't know. Could be anyone. Your guess is as good as mine. Is it the Wimple? Is it the Wimple's doing it? Could be some sort of Joan of Arc type thing you're thinking about.
Yeah, possible. Or could just be a Nightmare.
Well, that would also work. But I like these. They're very distinctive. Come from Bad Squiddo, from one of the Kickstarters. So, a bunch of female ne'er-do-wells in robbing all the dead people's houses in Felstadt. See.
Speaking of Kickstarter just bit my ass.
Kickstarter bit your ass?
Yes.
Let you do that?
Because I backed a project prior to Kickstarter that now has been delivered.
Oh. Leshen?
No. I actually wasn't at home, and so it's waiting at the post office for me to pick up, but there was a note left that I have to pay 15 euros in taxes.
Oh.
And the only Kickstarter that is highly possible to be is Heresy Miniatures Ghouls.
Oh. That'd be good.
No lesson, no
But I
idea.
mean, but what is it then if it's not a lesson? It's right beside that snowman. I mean, it must be. I don't know what else it could
Minotaur?
be. No.
Northern Minotaur?
Lesson. Lesson.
Or it's just somebody who missed that the season for dressing up is already over. But I love the snowman.
Snowman's great. And because of the way Frostgrave works, it could be any number of things. It could be a construct, or it could actually just be a soldier. I really like it. But I also like the 4 character types that have been painted up there. The Red Warrior. I know it says Red Warrior loosely based on the Last Samurai armor there, but it has a very Vlad Tepish woolly hat psychopath look to it, which I appreciate. I appreciate the psychopathy. There's a lot to be said for it.
JS1 has had her first fail with Kickstarter, Savage Frontier, and is refusing to post anywhere outside the US. Well, that should have been made clear in the Kickstarter for once. I hope you're getting a refund at that point. Soap says it's one of Ben Ferry's friends, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. But wasn't...
It was Euro-friendly, yeah, so he needs to send it. And if he's now coping out because it's getting too expensive, that's his problem.
Yeah, but Savage Frontier, the French and Indian Wars, because isn't that Footsore US, which means there's Footsore UK, could be... They've got one on each side of the fucking puddle to make the molds. He had a fallout with the UK distribution company. Well, in that case, it must be a fallout with Footsore.
Oh God!
Because he wasn't Footsore US beforehand. He had another company name because he used to sell James Wapples.
They split.
Stuff.
Oh, that's just grand.
Right.
Yeah. Still, he made an offer stating it's EU friendly, so he still needs to ship. He can't just change the terms. He might be asking for a little bit of money for shipping costs, but
that'll be a fuck job, I imagine. I think is the technical term for that one.
Yeah, so either he's refunding you or you're paying up for delivery, but just not delivering is...
Well, it's because it's one of the more recent Kickstarters, so it'll be under Kickstarter's new terms of service, where they're a lot more stringent than they used to be.
So they're enforcing refunds.
I mean, I don't know. Time will tell.
Well, I wish you best of luck with that.
Yeah, that's a shame because they were nice looking figures, from what I remember.
This is why we can't have nice things, because people are assholes. Bloody shit-faced wankers. Cockwombles.
Cockwombles. I don't think you're allowed to say that about wombles.
Thunder cunts.
That's fine then. Speaking of, shall we have a look?
Is this a a segue to the next project? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go with Thundercunt. Tanath. Ragnarok Tirnabor.
Or Thermo Warriors, as they could also be known. So, Tanith, some people may know Tanith, Crown of Command podcast, Old Hammer, also getting big into confrontation, and has been playing hybrid on this channel as well recently. The little logo there that's replaced the Crown of Command one is his new channel called Temple of the East, where he's taken the logo from Temple of the West, who are obviously doing confrontation, and turned it to make an E. So he's going to be doing some stuff confrontation wise and confrontation continuum. But yeah,
My, my.
this is his initial. He's doing 1,000 points of Tyrnabor dwarves with the Thermo Warriors. I've got so many of those Thermo Warriors. In fact, he's using cards I sent him because he didn't have the cards for the model.
And
But
look
they
at
are.
this non-metal metal on this
His,
curvy sword.
his painting's really fucking nice. I really like how it looks. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. It's quite a long conversation in the chat where he's started off going, here's the stuff I've got. And there's been a bit of back and forth with somebody who's been discussing pros and cons of running Tyrnabor dwarves. So if you're interested in confrontation, and I will never not be interested in confrontation, so much so I painted some confrontation stuff the other day. I was going, I should paint more of this. I should fucking finish some stuff off. Oh man, I won't do. And then I put it away. But it's interesting because the next sort of post he did then was list building, which is probably a little bit dry for people, but hopefully when he starts to do some more battle reports and the like, he'll start to tag them in here. I know Kyle sent him some of the master or prototype sculpts from some of the new lines that are going to be coming out for Confrontation Continuum. They're going to be at Adepticon, I think. Steve, you should go and find them, lick them. You'll get good luck if you lick him. But yeah, it'd be fascinating to see what else comes out for the.
Why would this
where
be
this goes.
expensive now? Are these out of print?
Oh yeah, Rackham stuff is monumentally expensive these days because they've not been in print for a long time. I never really went in for the dwarves except the Thermo Warrior Knights. I got a fuckload of them at one point when they were reduced to clear, and I'm planning on using them as my Brock riding cav for my dwarves because I've got I think 25 of the little bastards somewhere.
So basically, here's one advice we can give to the young audience: if there's a game that's on sale and has nice looking miniatures, just grab them by the dozen.
Oh yeah, always.
Even if you don't use them, just wait 10, 15 years and you can sell them for shit money.
or you might use them in 10 or 15 years. You never know. I started breaking down a lot of my stuff to use in Kings of War, and I'm still looking at. I've got about 100 paladins, Lion of Alahan's defenders. They're really, really nice fucking models, and I'm using them as 5 regiments of paladins for Kings of War. And I know whenever confrontation people see me cutting them all off their bases and pinning them on their multi-base, they're going to cry. Anyway,
that's some kind of torture you've invented there.
No, not at all. The Lobster Johnson looks great, Crispin. I'm going to be picking one up at Salute, because why would I not?
Jill, bad wording. Down, Jill. Bad. We don't say that here.
Yes, we do. I've been saying all the time. As soon as Shatterpoint gets released, they'll double tap Legion. They'll get taken out behind the chemical shed for a final cigarette. And then you'll be able to just pick them up in the fire sale. Wrath of Kings, I have. Again, I've got a ton of Wrath of Kings because I bought nearly everything. Some of the second wave stuff I didn't bother picking up because the game was already dead in its arse by then, because Cool Mini are not a website for rating people's paint jobs, is not a miniature manufacturer, and are shit at doing that and distributing them. So fuck those people. But I've got a big fuck off Hadros force that is going to be folded in to make Trident Realms because I like crabs. And then the other stuff I'm looking at going, these days I was planning on again Kings of Warring it up multi-base and a lot of the bastards, but I'm thinking there's so many decent games out there, might just base a load of them on individual bases and then use them for something like Dragon Rampant or Frostgrave or things like that, just for novelty value, because they're cute. They're really nice sculpts as well. They're PVC plastic, so some of them were quality control, wasn't it? I found a packet the other day where I'm missing a weapon out of it, and I'm fairly certain, because it's still sealed, I'm fairly certain Cool Mini or not, a website for rating people's paint jobs, will not replace that figure now. 10 years after they let the fucking game die in its arse. Oh no, they're going squares.
Yeah, that goes without question. Speaking of, what's next? And last for tonight?
Last for tonight.
Yes, it's last for
one.
tonight.
Last. That one.
I one, he says. And that's fumbling my way around the world of ancients, boy.
Yeah.
Tiny ancients.
Tiny ancients, in this case, tiny Indian ancients. I think we all enjoyed looking longingly at his macadamia nuts that he painted up a while ago, where it was more or less full-size phalanxes coming at you like Cleopatra. And obviously they need an opponent to that end. Not going for the standard dull, here's some Persians. Or maybe he just looked at Persians and thought, I am not painting all those fucking pajamas. So instead, gone with the Indians, which, while still being colourful, are not as head-meltingly insane to paint, especially in the smaller scales.
So remind me, this is 10? 10 mil?
Yep. I think these. I want to say these are Pendragon 10s.
So wasn't
the
reason why people go small scale so they don't have
Forge
to
the Battle
paint small details, and then he goes around painting even smaller details?
No. The reason people go for small scale is so you can play proper games on it. You know, when you've got tens of thousands of people fighting each other, it just looks so much more magnificent in a smaller scale. And look at that. I mean, there's a whole shelf full of heffalumps screaming out of the fucking hillside at Alex and his mates, and just big chariot battalions just battle calving their way around the place. Oh, it's a gorgeous, and for somebody who's just gone, well, you know, it's my first sort of foray into into ancients and historics. By God, they fucking knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, that's a wee bit of understatement there.
Smashed its back doors in. Look at them. Look at them all. So I'm about 5 pages further back down, just looking at the Macedonian phalanxes again. I need to stop doing that. I'll go blind otherwise. But yeah, the Indians are coming along really nicely. And it'll be interesting to see the sort of force that's fielded, because it's
even with the limited amount of different sculpts and poses, he does a very good job of breaking up the monotony of units.
Yeah, you know, it's all about the basic.
Oily funds.
Yeah, I mean, there are Carthaginians looking at that at the moment thinking, whoa, I'll have some of that. Look at them.
So many oily funds.
The shallow-hulled river frigates. Somebody suggested to Warren that the HMS Belfast may have been used at the Boyne. It's like, please don't give my ideas. I've ordered a walking tour of the Boyne Battlefields book this week. I had to order it from the United States because if you wanted to order it over here, it was costing stupid amounts of money. It's like 75 quid on Amazon. And then I found some other people selling like second-hand copies of it. And it was like, you know, books 15 quid and £11 for fucking postage. And I'm going, are you shitting me? And somebody in America was selling it for 12 with £1.25 postage. It's just like, send me that. I'll wait for 3 weeks. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that's a wee bit insane. Oh, speaking of...
Apparently, after I'd done that, I discovered, apparently, when I say this, Newgrange, the gift shop at Newgrange had like 15 copies when somebody was in there like 2-3 years ago. I'm going, we would be passing Newgrange. Well, we wouldn't be passing it, but we could detour. But then I'd only be getting the book the day we're down at Boyne to film, which wouldn't be any use at all because I'd have to fucking try and speed read this thing, which would just be a complete fucking nightmare. So I thought probably best just to go ahead and order it. But my brother's constantly up a fucking Newgrange. because he lives practically on the doorstep. So
Yeah. Oh, Nick says it's just around the corner by him, so...
yeah. Well, he's in Meath as well, so...
But speaking of ordering weird stuff, I actually managed to get a little bargain on eBay for my book collection.
Bargain?
Yeah, well, relative bargain.
Mhm.
So the Star Wars series,
Shatterpoint?
no, we're talking old books.
Yeah.
Jedi
Shatterpoint's
Academy, I think they were called.
okay, right. Yeah,
The sons and daughters of Han and Luke, Han and Leia.
yeah.
And
Jace and Gianna.
yeah, and the first episodes were translated in German only in a hardcover way. And I had the first 7 or 8, and the last ones are missing. And usually, some git is selling them for, and strap on for this, 80 euros
Per book?
per book. Yeah,
Wow.
that's my understanding. That when new, they were sold for 22 Deutschmarks, which is 11 euros. And I now managed to get one in a mint condition for 8 euros plus postage.
Oh, wow.
So that's almost a bargain.
That is a cheaper one, yeah.
Why are people paying these? Are people paying these prices? I wonder.
There's a website you can go to see if they've actually sold at that price or not.
I think eBay has that option as well, to where you can click and say, "Show me sold items," but it's why.
Yeah.
Same
Why?
with the 20 euro orc mechanic from Gorgon Walker, which is,
Which one's that?
the one with the raised spanner above his head.
Oh, right. Fuck, really?
Yeah.
Not even the minor, the character.
No, it's
Pickaxe and stuff, because he was cool.
it just appears regularly.
Mechanic.
It's mind blowing. The last one I saw was somebody trying to sell 2 buggies and a handful of parts from the Gorkamorka set for 80 euros.
Fuck.
What?
I should dig out Scavanob. try and sell my limited edition copy.
It's mental.
Radio Oriental, Chicken Oriental.
Yeah, but today we have seen a lot of projects that are way beyond my skills. Set of painting currently.
That's because you refuse to do OSL on Winston figures.
I'll be crying myself to sleep tonight. Then that's mainly to blame on Irish Steve.
Yeah, well, also yes. We should probably cheer you up then. Right, let's get the 129 Musala goals video going, and we'll talk our way through that.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope? Just been waiting for it the whole night. It's the only reason I went through your fucking list.
Nope.
Oh yeah, fuck you very much.
Yes, I will. At some point later, when I'm by myself. And I'm
Son of a fuck.
going to look at some lovely painted Bot Wars miniatures while doing that.
Bot, war, bot, war,
War,
bot,
war,
bot,
war.
bot, war, war, war. Where are the bots? This is the war. Nice.
And with that happy note, I bid you goodbye. Thank Jerry for being here, you lot for being in chat, and you watching on YouTube. Hit the ding and the dong and fuck off. Bye.
Bye.